Let's do just another reading. The Flower Adornment Sutra, page 90. Sutra. When Bodhisattvas and Mahasattvas plant good roots, they make the following dedication with these good roots. I will be a shelter for living beings in order to free them from all suffering. I will be a protector of living beings in order to liberate them from all afflictions. I will be a refuge for living beings in order to enable them to leave behind all fear. I will be a path for living beings in order to lead them to omniscient wisdom. I will be a haven for living beings in order to bring them to ultimate peace and tranquility. I will be a light for living beings in order to enable the radiance of wisdom to dispel the darkness of delusion. I will be a torch for living beings in order to break through the darkness of ignorance. I will be a lamp for living beings in order to enable them to dwell in the ultimate purity. I will be a guide for living beings in order to lead them to realize the ultimate Dharma. I will be a great guide for living beings in order to offer them unobstructed, great wisdom. Disciples of the Buddha with his good roots, Bodhisattvas Mahasattvas, make dedications in this way, impartially benefiting living beings and leading them to the ultimate realization of omniscient wisdom. When the great Bodhisattvas among Bodhisattvas walk the Bodhisattva path, they need to plant all good roots as they practice the 10 dedications. To plant good roots is to refrain from all evil and practice all good. Bodhisattvas plant good roots within living beings. Without living beings, Bodhisattvas would have nowhere to plant good roots. Therefore, for the sake of making dedications to all living beings, Bodhisattvas plant good roots and cultivate the path to body. Only by cultivating the path to body can one extensively plant good roots. If you do not cultivate body, you cannot plant good roots either. While extensively planting good roots, Bodhisattvas must remain apart from any notion of good roots. Therefore, they dedicate these good roots to the realization of the ultimate reality, which is empty of everything. When you plant good roots, you must not be detached to the notion of good roots. You must be free of all attachments and bonds. Only then can you attain liberation. When Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas plant good roots, they make the following dedication with these good roots. What kind of dedications do the Bodhisattvas make? They say, I will be a shelter for living beings, a dwelling place for them, in order to free them from all suffering. A shelter is a place of rest that can protect living beings from wind and rain. Bodhisattvas wish to be shelters for living beings. I want to be a shelter for living beings so that they can be free from hunger and cold. I will also enable them to leave behind every kind of suffering, the suffering upon suffering, the suffering caused by the loss of sources of joy, and the suffering caused by ever-changing conditions. That is, the three kinds of suffering, as well as the 8 kinds of suffering, the limitless suffering. I will free them from all suffering. Just as a shelter protects living beings from the wind and rain, enabling them to leave behind all suffering and affliction behind, so Bodhisattvas do the same. Furthermore, the Bodhisattvas wish I will be a protector of living beings. I will always protect, save, and support them. I will always protect them in order to liberate them from all afflictions. Living beings will be able to rid themselves of their afflictions. They won't have any more afflictions. All their afflictions will be cut off. I will be a refuge for living beings, even their bodies, a place to return to their minds and a place to settle, in order to enable them to leave behind all fear. They will have something to rely and will be able to leave all fear behind. Furthermore, the Bodhisattvas we shall be a path for living beings to proceed along in their journey, in order to lead them to the ground of omniscient wisdom. I will be a heaven for living beings in order to bring them to the ultimate peace and tranquility, enabling them to peaceful and happy, to be peaceful and happy. That's it, just a small reading, page 92 of the Flower Adornment Sutra.